First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we meet today. And I'd like to pay my respect to the elders past and present. Today we are going to talk about stress and anxiety. How to come out. How to prevent. Is it? Yes. The thing that we're going to discuss here is actually we know that everyone knows that we have stress and anxiety, isn't it? The people, the humans, they have this stress. You're facing these conditions. But dear ladies and gentlemen, there's a problem within us that we didn't know that. There's no way to find out what's the problem that we have. What is the mechanism that stress and anxiety builds within our mind? So this talk that we are going to do today, we are going to explore the deep mechanism, the root causes that actually develops, that builds the stress and anxiety, the stress, depression, the fear, grief, anger in your souls. Right? Okay. So what is the purpose of this clock? To check the time, right? So what is the purpose of this clock? To observe the time. Is there anything else that we can do with it? No, people made this to check the time. Someone made this clock to check the time, isn't it? Right. So everything that you can see in this room, there's a purpose, isn't it? Why this mic? Why people invented this mic? Why people invented this buffer and the amp system and these flowers? There's a purpose. The question that I'm going to ask you, what is the purpose of your life? Oh, that is completely... Is it difficult to answer that? What do you think? What is the purpose of your life? Yes. From morning to until you go to bed. From womb to tomb. You're trying to achieve something. You're achieving something, isn't it? Are you doing the thing that you have to do as a human? Survive? Good. That we want to survive, yes? Why I ask this, what is the purpose of your life? It's because, ladies and gentlemen, the fear, grief, stress and anxiety, all these conditions develop in our mind because we don't know what's actually our purpose, what we are doing, why we are doing this, why we are doing things from morning to night. That's why we have this issue, that's why we have these problems. Because we are always barking up the wrong tree. We know there's a problem, there's a big problem that we have to face each and every moment, each and every day. We're facing different problems. You are trying to solve the problem that you face during your life. Don't you? Yeah. Every day is the problem solving day. But I'm asking, are you done? No. You always need You always, when you come up with a solution for one problem, you always create 10 problems out of that solution because of the solution that you take, right? Now you have to face 10 more problems. For example, let's see, you want to buy a smartphone, right? Those days, we had the button phone. Can you remember? Yeah. Right? We used it to call someone, text. Sometimes some phones actually had a camera, right? The basic camera, the pixels are very big. Can you remember those days? Yes. Yes. After that, you bought a smartphone. And then life became very easy, right? You just Google it when you need something, and you use the Google map, and yes, good. But when you buy this smartphone, it came up with a package of protecting, repairing, right? And also taking care of that. And also you have to maintain it. And now your life is actually totally dependent on the smartphone. You cannot come out of it now. We all cannot live without the smartphone because it's an essential. It's our need. It's our want actually, rather than our need. Because there's a huge difference between want and a need. Dear ladies and gentlemen, the stress and anxiety that you experience, everyone in this world is trying to come out of the stressful conditions, the anxious conditions that they face. But no one is analyzing how this stress builds within your mind. It's because no one knows what is the mechanism, what is the underlying mechanism that develops, that originates the stress within your mind. We all have minds, isn't it? Right? How do you perceive this pen? From your brain or from your mind? Yes, brain is helping us actually. Yes, that's what we know, right? So you perceive this pen using your mind. Don't you think so? In your mind, there's a perception, right? But the thing is, dear ladies and gentlemen, you know that this perception, right? That you know that, okay, this is pen and I'm working with that. Yes, I'm writing and I'm owning and all these things. But since you were born, you were using this instrument called mind, but you haven't analyzed, you haven't read the safety operating procedure. You haven't checked how it works. You haven't recognized the underlying mechanism, how this perception occurs in your mind. So 2 years ago, I was in Canberra before as a layperson like you. I just ordained like 7 months ago, and I did a PhD in biochemistry and biophysics, where we used enema and proteins. So those days I was experimenting what's actually happening outside. I was doing a research on what's actually happening outside. I use pipette tips, centrifuge machines, tubes, what else? Mass spectrometers, nuclear magnetic resonance spectrometers, NMR spectrometers, yes. So I was using them. But I haven't studied what's actually happening within my mind. We haven't done a research, we haven't done a study what's actually going with us. It's because we don't know, because there's no one to guide it, isn't it? Luckily, I found a teacher who can show me what's actually happening within me. Because he asked the same question that I asked from you today. I asked you, what is the purpose of your life? When he asked that question, actually I didn't have an answer. Because I was thinking, okay, my purpose is, yes, doing a PhD, and then, yes, postdoc. What else? Research, and then die. So what is the difference? What is the difference between an animal and a human? Animal is actually eating, drinking, sleeping, and having sex. It's doing the same thing as human does, right? Humans do. What they do? Eating, drinking, sleeping, and having sex. But what we are doing, except learning, passing out the exams, right? Achieving the goals, and also eating, drinking, sleeping, and having sex. I'm not saying that what we are doing is wrong. I'm saying, is that the only thing that we have to do? Is there something else that we can do? Yes. Dear ladies and gentlemen, you're born as a human being. There's a difference between human being and an animal. Human mind has an incredible capacity, ability to reflect about yourself, reflect about themselves. You have an incredible ability to think about what's actually going on within you. But you haven't used it. You haven't used what the package that you have in your mind, because you didn't know that it is there. You always learn things from the outside, the people, and then you act according to that what you have learned. You haven't questioned about your mind. You haven't questioned about what's going on within you. Why do you feel stress? Why do you get stressed? For example, when you crave for pizza, have you ever questioned why I do feel a craving? Why I feel urge, a pain, a mental pressure? What is the reason for this mental pain that I experience? No. Dear ladies and gentlemen, you are a slave for your mind, because you don't know what's actually happening within you. You did everything what mind is asking you to do, isn't it? When you think about, let's say, oh, I'm going to go and visit let's say, one of my friends. Yes, I want to go there. Okay, yes, you go there. And let's say, okay, today is Friday in the afternoon. Let's have something. Let's go to a restaurant. Okay, let's go. You haven't think, right? The thing is, you cannot, after you get this thought, you cannot stay without going there, without doing it. Don't you think so? Because the craving increases inside your mind. Then the pressure increases. Dear ladies and gentlemen, you're not entitled to suffer, because you have this ability to find out what is the root cause, what is the mechanism that generates the craving, that generates this mental pressure. The thing is, no one is there to teach you, no one is there to show you. That is why all these people have these issues of stress, anxiety, depression, addictions, and all these things are there, because we are barking up the wrong tree. That's why after I understood that actually there's something more that I can do for this society. Because I found this, because thanks to my teachers, I understood what's actually going on within me. Now I should share this message. I should share this knowledge. Because this is the country that I found it. That's why I came these thousands and thousands of miles from Sri Lanka and to here to help you guys. Because I know one thing. Because I was exactly same as you. I was with you and I came out of your layer, society, right? And then I know what's actually going on within you. I want to help you. So today, during this talk, I want you to do two things. The first thing is, you're not just listening to a talk. Because our mindset is always studying, learning things. I was a scientist before I get ordained. And even though now you can see me as a Buddhist monk, I'm saying I'm not a Buddhist monk. I'm still a scientist, but I actually study about my mind. I do the research in my mind lab, not in the chemistry lab. Those days I did my research in the chemistry lab. Now I do my research in the mind lab. What is this mind lab? Don't you have this lab with you? Do you have to go somewhere? No. You have this lab with you. What is this lab? You have all the experiences that you had throughout your life, isn't it? The days that you suffer, the days that you felt angry, stress, and depression, and you felt anxiety, and all these things. You have these experiences, don't you? Yes. What I invite you to do is, the concept that I'm going to deliver to you, you have to apply in your lab of life, the experiences, and comprehend, reflect, and verify these concepts within your life. So you're not actually just listening to a talk, you're doing the research. Actually, it's something different to listening to a talk, because those days, back in university, what we did, we listened to the talk, and then we go to the lab, and then do the experiments, and then verify, and then we are happy, we are done. No. Here, what we are doing is, our lab is now in this very room. Right? Our lecture hall is this one, in this room. Our lab is in this room. So you have to do the experiment at this moment, right now. The concept that I'm going to deliver to you, you have to apply with your life experiences and verify it. So that's why I ask you to come forward, because I want to see your faces. This is actually active listening and active speaking. So it's actually, what you can say, full of practical. I know you came here to listen how to prevent stress and anxiety. Yes, this is the mechanism. The second thing that I want you think about, do in this room, that there are only two people exist in this room. Who are they? How many people here now? 30? 20? But I invite you to think only, there's only two people. You and me. Only we both exist in this room. And I am, in between you and me, there's the virtual table. I'm putting my experience onto that table. The point of the way that I look into that things onto this table, what you have to do is, you have to dig your memories, your experiences, and then you have to verify it for yourself. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I cannot prove these things on behalf of you. You have to do the experiment and prove it to yourself. For example, madam, if you let's say you had a dream last night, right? Let's say you had a dream last night, and in the morning you tell your friend, yeah, you know, I had a dream last night. Then if he said, prove me that you had a dream, can you prove that? You had a dream, can you prove that you had a dream? Is it your experience? Was it your experience? Like, dream is your experience. You cannot prove to someone else that you had a dream. What you can say is, I had a dream. That's what I can do for you. Like, prove to you. Right? You cannot prove it. Similarly, the concept that I am going to deliver to you, it's actually verified by myself in my experiences. And you have to do in your side. You have to verify it with your experience and then prove to yourself. Agree? Right? From here onwards, only two people exist here in this room, and we are talking each other. I try my best to look at everyone's eyes, right? So eye contact is must, right? Let's do this analysis, right? Perfect, right? How do you feel when you get stressed? Irritating, annoyed, the negative emotions. You want to come out of it. The anxiety. How do you feel? Very tired, distressing, burned out. Yeah. So you can talk to me, huh? You have to talk to me. It's really good, yes. Because then you'll actually understand what I want to convey to you. Because there's a way to look in. I mean, there's a way how this stress and anxiety generated in your mind. If you know this way, if you know that the mechanism, then you don't have to worry about that. Because now you know what's actually happening to you. Because don't you think the stress and anxiety, these feelings are coming out to you like they are like they comes to you out of the blue. It's like sometimes out of the blue you start to feel like stress. You know that there's a reason. What is the reason? Let's say you have a huge amount of workload, right? You have a high workload. Your boss is saying, do this, do that, do those things, and you don't know how to do it, right? And then you have some commitments at from your family side, and you have some responsibilities. So you're stuck in the middle of everything, and you feel, oh, around the world is what? Around your world is what? Like shaking, and they all are coming to bite you, right? That's what you feel. That's the moment that you feel the stress and anxiety within you, right? Okay. The thing, dear ladies and gentlemen, let's analyze by taking a small thing. Let's say you have a huge workload to complete within a time frame. Now you feel stress, right? So let's analyze the mechanism, how this stress, the negative emotions starts in your mind, right? Can you see the board? Yeah. Let's say you have huge workload, and because of that, that's what you experience, right? Because of that, you get stressed. To analyze this, I'm going to use some simple example. Do you see a flame here? No. Now do you see a flame? Where did it come from? Come from there, right? That's what you experienced. That's what you saw, right? Right. Inside your mind, within your mind, you experience that there's a fixed flame exists here. Agree? Right. But if you scrutinize it, if you come closer, look into it, then you will find actually there are causes. What are the causes? There's a wax, oxygen. What else? Temperature, the cotton thread. All these causes comes together to manifest this flame, is it? The causes comes together to manifest a flame. A flame is not a fixed thing, dear ladies and gentlemen. Flame is actually happening right at this moment. Each and every moment, it's actually manifesting. There's a process going on here. But you perceive it as a fixed entity, don't you? What do you think? You always think, in your perception, you always feel what is there? A flame. Flame is a fixed entity, is it? That's what you perceive. But what is there? What it is there? Is it a fixed flame, or is there a process that actually comes together each and every moment? There's a process happening right at this moment, but you perceive it as what? A fixed entity. The fixed flame is there. Do you agree or not? Agree. Okay. What happened? The flame is gone. Where did it go? If you say flame is gone, there should be place that it went. Gone means like went somewhere. Did it go somewhere? No. No, dear ladies and gentlemen, what happened here is there's the process that happening right at this moment. Each and every moment there's a process happens. Right? What happened is I removed one cause. When I removed one cause, then what happened? That effect, that the process stopped, ceased existing. Right? So that means there's no fixed flame. There was no fixed flame here to go somewhere. It's actually a process. That's why when I removed one cause, the process is no longer there. Are we on the same page? Good? Right. Similarly, your mind is actually a process. Your mind is not a fixed entity. What does that mean? Each and every moment, there's a perception arise, the perception happens, and then that perception is gone. Gone means it stopped perceiving. Each and every moment, there's a perception arise in your mind, and then it stops happening. Okay, I can prove to you. Do you see a pen? That's why I said this is completely practical session, right? I want to experience this knowledge that I have. I want to transfer this wisdom to you, because let's say no one understood this. I know one thing, because I try to make courses, right? The wisdom has to manifest in your mind. The people think that transferring knowledge is the way, the thing. Actually, knowledge cannot be transferred. Sorry, wisdom cannot be transferred. We can arrange the courses to manifest the wisdom. So what I'm doing now is arranging the courses to manifest the wisdom within your mind. Okay? Right. So this is the practical. Do you see a pen now? Right. What happened to the pen? Not this one. The perception that you had. Is it gone or is it there? You can come sit here. There are front seats actually. Okay. Is there a pen in your mind when I saw this? When I showed to you? Right. What happened to that pen? Now. It's gone. It's gone means the process of manifesting. The process of manifesting what? A perception of pen has ceased. Isn't it? Yes. Dear ladies and gentlemen, the first thing that you have to understand is when someone said that you have stress or I have stress, I have anxiety, that is totally wrong. Why? The first thing you have to understand is stress and anxiety is not something you have. Because, how about this pen? Not this one. The perception you had. What happened to that perception? Now, it's gone. That means the stress and anxiety conditions that you experience is actually not going to stay there. It manifests due to causes. And when you remove one of the cause, it stops manifesting. That's why even though people say that you have stress, you have anxiety, right? But the conditions has to meet to experience that anxiety and stress conditions, isn't it? There are conditions that have to meet. There should be causes that come together to manifest that effect. Effect of what? Effect of what? The stressful experience, the feelings that you have. Do you understand what I say? What I want to convert? Right? We all experience that when you say to someone that you have anxiety, you have this depression, that means that depression is something that you own. Stress is something that you own. The anxiety is something that you own. No, my dear ladies and gentlemen, it's not something that you own. It's something that manifests due to causes. Like this flame. What happened to the flame? When you remove one of the causes, then what happened to the flame? There was a flame. So I showed them flame before you come. Yeah. Right. So what happened to that flame? When you remove one of the causes, it stops manifesting. It ceased. The process stops. Agree? Yes. Similarly, the stress and anxiety you experience can be stopped permanently. Once you eliminate one of the cause that actually you can eliminate completely. If you can, let's say you have one cause that you can eliminate completely, right? If you eliminate it completely, then your stress and anxiety in your life, you won't experience it again. Thanks to my teachers, thanks to the wisdom that came through 2,500 years knowledge, the wisdom from the perfect one who born to this world, which is the Buddha. Through this lineage of this teachers in these robes. Thanks to them, I got this message and I understood. That's why I want to translate. I wanted to show it to. You don't have to become a Buddhist, because I'm not a Buddhist. That's why I said. Still, I feel that I'm a scientist, right? But my lab is with me. I'm doing my experiments within me.
How do you also retrain the mind? Because if you don't get on top of the stresses and the anxiety and the depression, the build-up of cortisol, will take over, and then it's really hard to come down from that. So
yes,
how do we then, get into that state before it manifests into something bigger?
Yes. So that's why the wisdom, that the message that I want to transfer to you is actually you cannot do when you experience the stress, right? When you don't have the stressful conditions, when you are living in normal condition like this, then you have to contemplate, you have to reflect, and you have to understand this. And when the more you understand, what actually happens is you don't have to. I mean, the more you understand the mechanism of that generates the stress. Actually, that helps to prevent the stress being manifest in the right when the conditions met. Because I'll explain this why I'm saying that. Because what you're doing now is actually removing one cause at this moment. Because we are dealing with minds. So what you're doing now, you're listening to the mechanism of the mind. You're listening to what's happening within the mind. You're listening to what's actually happening within the world of perception. That means at this moment you're curing your mind. Right? Let's see this. Okay. When you say let's say you have huge workload, and because of that you get stressed, right? Even though you felt like this, you feel you get stressed because of what? Because of the huge workload. It's okay, it's true. Why? Because when you get the sense that you have this much of workload, that's the moment that you start to experience the stress, the depression, the anxiety, isn't it? That is the moment you start to feel the stress. Right. It's okay that you have an idea that because of the huge workload that I have this stressful condition, the negative emotions in my mind. This is the secret. Let's say there's a water stream. Someone is adding blue color pigment to up area. Right? Blue color pigment each and every moment. Because of the blue color pigment, he's adding blue color pigment, what happens? The water stream get blue color. Okay? Right. So when you see the water stream in the distance, from the distance, you experience what? Oh, there's a blue color water is flowing. Right? But when you take a closer look, when you come closer and do the research, analyze it, and then you will find there are two processes happening here. What is that? Can you guess? The water is also flowing, and also the blue color pigments are also flowing. Yes, blue color pigments are flowing on the water, it's because of the medium. Water is the medium. Yes, but there are two processes happening here. Water is flowing as well, blue color pigment is all flowing as well. There's no blue water here. When you look at this through the distance, from the distance, then you experience what? The blue color water is flowing. But when you go closer, then you will experience actually there's no blue color water actually. Water is pure and there's a blue color pigment as well. Right? When you take a closer look, then you will experience two things, the two processes. That's why I want you to now go closer to your mind and see actually these two are actually two processes. There's no relationship between these two. Into your mind, you get, okay, what is that? I have huge workload, right? That is a separate process. You cannot stop actually occurring this process because it's a reality. You have to do the work, isn't it? Don't you? If you're doing the job, right, you have to face the music, right? You have to face that. You cannot escape from it. Yes, true, good. But along with when you get this, the sense, the feeling, you always get the stress as well. The stress is actually generated from another mechanism. This is not completely, the stress is not associated with that one. But actually you cannot find it by your own. That is the thing. You always experience these two together. You need a guidance, you need a teacher, you need to have a proper guidance to observe these two separately. Right? Right. One of the causes for getting this stress into your mind is actually ignorance. This is what Buddha has described in those 57 books. But the thing is, the Buddhism is actually, people believe that it's a religion, right? But Buddhism is not a religion. But Buddha has what Buddha has discovered to this world is not a religion. It's actually a science. It's a core principles that actually underline, that actually that explains what's actually happening within you, within your mind. This is the source code of the mind. Right? Are we clear? That's right. So this stress that you experience is actually because of the ignorance in the mind. What is the ignorance? What is this ignorance? Ignorance means what? You don't know what's actually happening, isn't it? You don't know what's actually going on. Going on where? About the mind itself. Right? Still you haven't get this message yet. Still stay tuned. Huh? So this is the ignorance, this is the root cause that actually generates the stress. The root cause is what? Ignorance. Ignorance is what? You don't know what's actually going on. So by listening to this talk, what you're doing? You're treating to hear. Right? The more you get treatment to this ignorance about the mechanism actually happen here, then you won't be able, you won't be experience the stress in future. It's like this. Let's say you have a skin rash. You go to doctor and you ask from your doctor, can you give me a medicine to apply? Ornament, cream, right? And doctor say, dear young lady, this is the problem you have. It's not because of the skin rash. This is not, skin rash is not there, I can see, but you have a problem in your kidney. Because of the problem in the kidney, because of the imbalance of the metabolism in the kidney, that you have this rash, right? Then doctor gives me the medicine to the kidney, but that lady is asking, what? Can you remove this skin? Can you give me some ornaments too? The cream for ointments too? The skin rash. Okay, you can get a cream and you apply, and then next day what happened? There's another skin rash coming up in the other place. Then doctor says, okay, the problem is there, so I have to treat to the kidney, and if you take that medicine, then you will be able to solve this problem, right? That's why each and every moment in our life that we experience this stress, we always treat to this one. We always find an answer to how to eliminate huge workload. That's why people do managing the stress, right? People talk about how to manage the stress, right? How to manage the anxiety, and how to manage the workload. What you want to do is to get rid of this part, right? Then you think, okay, if I get rid of this part, then I won't be stressed. Okay, you're happy. But later date, when you get again more workload, then what happened? The stress comes again. Don't you think because of the stress that you experience, you cannot take the proper solution? When you get angry, when you get fear about what's going to happen next, let's say you have an exam, you have an interview to face, let's say next week. For those days, when I was doing my PhD, each and every once in 2 months, right, I have to present in front of the, not only my research group, but some research groups, right? So when we have to present in front of the research groups, right, I get stressed whether I'll be able to answer properly. Because of the stress that I experience, because of the fear that I experience, I don't know how to, sometimes I didn't answer properly because of the fear, because of the stress. Actually, because of this stress and anxiety that you experience, right, you're not taking proper solutions here. Right? Do you understand? You always go and try to find a solution for this place. Actually, this is not the problem. This is the problem. Problem is because of something else. The process is different. There's a different process. Right.
I think as society, as a whole, I think we've become greedy, and that is so true to say, and that we seem to have forgotten, and it all becomes about work and having money and then more money, that we seem to we don't look after we stop looking after ourselves, and then that gets out of control. The stress, it gets and we can't blame our workplace. We have to blame ourselves because we're responsible for our own, for the way that we are. We're accountable for our own actions.
That's our responsibilities.
It is.
Yes, but the thing is, because of the responsibility, you feel this stress and anxiety, depression, and all these negative feelings. Not because of the responsibility, because of your bonds. Because of the ignorance, desire is here. Because of the ignorance, there's a desire. Because of the desire, you experience the stress and anxiety. This is the core, this is the mechanism that generates the stress and anxiety. Don't you think when you experience you have huge workload, inside your mind, intuitively, inside your mind, you want something else. What is that? You want to sit and relax. You want to sit and relax, doing nothing. Right? What happened then? No, you cannot sit and relax, do this. Right? Your boss is saying, Come on, come to work and do this. We have to finish this. There's a deadline coming up. And what you want. So now there's a clash between what? The wanting and the moment. The moment is actually what actually you experience is something else. What you want is something else. Right? There's a mismatch. There's a clash between what you want and what you experience. But we always pointing finger towards the wrong direction. We always say, because of the boss, because of the workload, because of my kid, because of my responsibilities, I have to do that, I have to do this. Because of that, I have this stress and anxiety. I'm depressed and I don't want to. Go away, I need some time. Leave me alone. Do you hear these things? Is there only I experienced it, or no? You all have this, isn't it? Leave me alone. Go away. Don't come to me. Close me. I want to stay by myself. Dear ladies and gentlemen, this is the mechanism. This desire that you have is that there's a reason why you have this desire. What is the desire here, according to this one? Not to do any work, or do some amount of work. I mean, up to the level that you can. When you come up with the, let's say you. So this happened during my PhD. So I lost car key one day morning. I was searching everywhere. So I had to go to, there's a meeting, and then afternoon I had another commitment, another the work plan, and there's a meeting with another research group, and the day was fully packed, and I lost the car key, right? And I was searching everywhere, I couldn't find it. I even go and ask, my wife was there, the late-time wife, and I asked from her. She said no, and she went to work because she was using commute, right? And then I was searching everywhere and I couldn't find, and then I decided to go and now I'm stressed now, right? I cannot now find a solution. There's no the bus route because I lived in Canberra. Canberra is a very busy place. No, you can not busy. I mean,
Ultra busy.
ultra busy. Yeah, I mean, there's no buses, right? Those days, I mean, 2016, 17. So what happened? Actually, I saw car key. Where? Under my car. When I parked and when I got out, from the car, it actually dropped there and it went inside. Right? So when I saw the car key, you know how happy I was? I was over the moon. My wife was not with me, so I actually called her. I rang her and said, "Yay, I found it. Yes." Okay, now there's a problem here. How come car key gives me happy? Don't you have car key with you now? No?
Well, it's not the car key, it's the process behind it.
Ah.
The stress has got nothing to do with the car key. It's the process.
But the thing is, how did I perceive? What did I say? I found the car key because of that. Because of that I am happy. So happiness is there because of what? Because I found the car key. Dear ladies and gentlemen, absence makes the heart grow fonder. Now I ask you, what is this desire? What is this desire? What is this for? To be content, to be satisfied. This is the comfortable zone that you have. Your comfort, neither. You're comfortable with. If these things happen this way, I'm comfortable. This is I want this way. There's always my way. This is the highway. Right? You're not accepting what actually what God gives to you. You're always going against the God. The God is providing you what? The things. Right? I mean, these are the workload is what God has given to you. What you have done, what you're doing is, God, please don't give this much of workload. Right? I'm against you. And there's a nice quote in Shakespeare. Life is a drama. God is the director. We are the actors. Right? But I think, no, we are not good actors because we are always going against the director. That's why we always suffer. The director says, okay, do like this. What actor does is, no, I want this. I want this way. I will do this way. What do you think? Then God says, no, go out. How dare you? I'm the best actor in this world. So that's why we always have my ways. The me part. I am the king. I am the owner. I am the person. I am here. It's my way. Don't you think so? The desire always generates within your mind because you wanted to be content. You wanted to be happy with that wanting, with that way, with that method, with that achievement. You always experience, you want to experience your wanting, your desires, because you feel that that desire gives you happiness. That not desire, that the way that you want gives you happiness. For example, when I was searching my car key, right? I was stressed. I was now experiencing the pressure inside my mind. Right? And why this pressure is building up? Because I can't see I don't have the car key. Right? And then the more you search it, the more you feel the pressure. And when you found out that, then you're over the moon. Because why? You found what you want. Aha. That's why you go and ask always, boss, can you reduce this workload? I'm unable to do this. The boss says, yes, good request, but no. You wish. Right? I pay you because of this. You said in your interview that you are capable of doing everything. And you wrote selection criteria, right? Cover letter that you said, you claimed that you have everything that I want. Now you say that you don't have everything that I want. You say that you think you have something that you want. No. This is where the clashes comes. Right? Okay. So, now let's analyze how I felt that happiness. Because you think that happiness is the way that you expect. You feel happiness because of the way that you expect. Right? You feel the content. You're content with the expectation, is it? Let's say someone is recommending you, okay, you know that there's a pizza shop and it's very good. And I went there and it was a nice restaurant. You can go and you should one day go and visit there, right? And when you go there, do you have expectation? Yes. Is it your expectation It is that your expectation matches with that your friend's experience? You don't know, because what you expect is based on your experiences, right? And when you enter to the restaurant, and then the service that you received is very poor, right? Then you call that friend. Are you sure this restaurant you came? Now I am here, I am there, right? They didn't serve my pizza, now it's almost 45 minutes. I'm waiting here, right? So that means your expectation depends on where? What? Your expectation depends on your experiences, right? Because that experience, you have experiences that gave you happiness. You have experiences that brings you happiness. You have, this way I will be content. This way I will be happy. This way I will be more satisfied. This way I will be elated. This way I will be joyed. You have methods, ways, and what you call the modes that you feel happiness. For example, some people love pizza. Some people love what? What do you like? Cheesecake, red velvet cake, chocolate cake. Do you know what, madam? So sometimes, ladies, the gentlemen, so when you listen to this talk, right, when you go home, you always go through some either cake shop or pizza shop, because why? Now you start cravings. So don't be like that, okay? Because I'm taking this example because I want to close to you, right? Back in days when I was in Canberra, my car is automatically turning to the KFCs. I don't know what happens to my arms. It's automatically turning. Like I cannot push back like that. No, not right turn. No, it's taking the left turn. And once you go into the drive-through, then you cannot come out, because now you have to go along with the drive-through way, isn't it? Because there's no turns after you enter to the drive-through. So because of the craving, you cannot tolerate, and you slowly, secretly, without your knowledge, without your sense, what you do? You turn left. And once you go inside, then you realize, why did I turn? Why I came here? Okay. Now you cannot come out, right? You feel the pressure, right? You need to come out of the pressure. What you do? You eat the KFC. Tell me, do you feel satisfaction or not? When you eat something you love, do you feel satisfaction or not? Yes. Because something you love, you experience the craving, you experience the desire, right? You have this urge. What is that? The void. You want to buy now, right? That means you experience the mental pressure, the mental pain. Agree? Yes. Then what happens? You cannot tolerate this pressure. You cannot tolerate this pain. You perform the action. Right? When you perform the action, what happens? What happened to this pressure? It goes away, isn't it? The pressure that you experience goes away. relieved, reduced, decreased. There's a reduction of the pressure that you experience. That reduction of the pressure that you experience, you deceive it as the happiness. Actually, nothing gives you happiness, dear ladies and gentlemen. If this gives you happiness, right, then everyone should come behind this. If this flower arrangement is beautiful, it makes you happy, the pleasant in the experience, because of there's a beautiful in here. The beauty is in here, the flower arrangement. Then everyone should love it. Does it do like that? Everyone loves it. Huh? No. Some people say, that's ugly. Some people say, that's good. Some people say, okay, I don't care. So how come that? If pizza gives you happiness, right, then everyone should buy pizza. Why? Some people are using secret ingredient called happiness, 20 grams, when they're making a pizza. Do they? When they're making red velvet cake or chocolate gâteau, whatever, right? Do they add 20 grams, 30 grams of happiness, pleasure? Yes? No. No one adds an ingredient called happiness when they are making anything. This clock is nice, isn't it? But some people say, Some people say, yeah, you wish. But the thing is, there's no nice in here. Nice is where? Nice manifests in here, inside our mind. Actually, there's no nice manifest in our mind because of the vexation, because of the relief of the pressure, because of the relief of the mental pressure that you experience. When you experience this clock, when you see this clock, you think that happiness came from there. You always project happiness to the outside. That's why you always seek happiness from the outside. If I draw a graph, scientific graph, this is the mental pressure. Right? When you crave for something, when you want, when you have a desire, right? When you have expectation, what happens? The pressure increases. Now you cannot tolerate it, you have to come out of that pressure. Now what you're doing is, by hook or by crook, you have to come out of that pressure. Right? Inside your mind, it all secretly saying, your pressure is because of you don't have that. Please buy it. Inside your mind, you always, there's the second person comes up. You know that, do you remember that Jack Sparrow's movies? There are two Jack Sparrows on the shoulders. One is telling, don't do that. The other Jack Sparrow is telling, do that. Right? Something like that happens within our mind. Buy or not? Buy or not? Right? Secretly, someone says, no, just buy it because of that. That's why you say, only for today I'll do. Okay, do it. Right? What happens? When you experience, when you buy, when you taste, when you feel, when you smell, when you see, when you hear that object from your 6 senses, 5 senses that you have, the pressure decreased temporarily. Right? This is actually temporary. Because of this decrease You feel what? You have an idea now? You feel what? Okay, that gives you happiness. Is it happiness that you get, or is it a release of the vexation? Is it the release of the pressure? It is release of the pressure that you deceive at what? Deceive as what? Happiness. That's why it says absence makes the heart grow fonder. You always, the moment you experience happiness, you always, next to that moment, you always have a suffering moment. But sometimes you didn't experience it, that I am suffering, I am craving, I have this craving. Okay, madam, sir, I'm going to ask you. When you have a headache, do you feel that the negative emotions, you have headache, right? You want to come out of it. Okay. When you take a medicine, right? Let's say Panadol, paracetamol, or anything. Now you experience the relief of the headache. You feel more relief, happy, pleasure, right? Do you feel that pleasure now?
No.
Why? Because there's no pleasure, there's no happiness. You experience the happiness, you experience the pleasure because of what? Actually, there's no happiness or pleasure. What happens is relief of the vexation. But your mind doesn't know. The mind never looked into the mind and check whether there's a vexation going on within me. Right? What it actually is looking for. The mind always look for what? What you lack. What do you lack? When you have this huge workload, what do you lack? Yeah, like you're always expecting what? Sitting, doing nothing. Don't you have some days that you don't have anything to do, but you cannot stay at home at least, right? You don't have anything to do. You have nothing to do, but still you have, it's boring. You want to do something. I'm asking you, here you say, because of the workload I am stressed. And when you don't have anything to do, now you are saying what? I don't have anything to do because of that I am stressed. Oh my God, what is this life? Don't you think it's a joke? That when I ask you, what's the purpose of your life? To be content. I want to be happy. Yeah, you are doing everything because of the happiness. You want to be happy, I know. This is the happiness that you felt so far. Dear ladies and gentlemen, because you always seek happiness from the outside, the happiness that comes within, that was there with you, has gone. Because you always projected what? There is the happiness. That's why when you go to a restaurant with someone else, let's say, the other person took another dish and you order something else, right? What's happening with you? That guy must be very happy with that one, right? Can I taste it a little bit? The one person sits next to you, then he thinks, oh, that dish should be happy. That dish should be delicious. And can I taste that little bit? That's why you always have a bite of the other person's dish. Why? You want to see whether that is something cool, something that you like. Don't you think so? Dear ladies and gentlemen, this is the tragedy. This is why this is the problem we have. We don't know what is happiness. We don't know what we experience is not the happiness. We always seek for happiness from the outside, but outside objects doesn't have any happiness. All these things are neutral. They don't have any happiness. This flower arrangement doesn't have any happiness. It's a neutral object. This is neutral. The mic is neutral. When you order something from Amazon, when you're waiting until the delivery guy delivers that to you, your door. Now you're waiting. Now you start the waiting game, right? After you place the submit, the order button, and after that you are checking whether it is dispatched. Yes. And then when it is expected, tomorrow. Yes, good. Because of the waiting game, what happens? Each and every moment you experience the pressure, you check the phone. You get relief, right? It's coming, right? So I had this experience because I had a company back in Canberra, photography business. So we order different equipments, the lenses and filters from the Amazon or the online companies. When we are waiting for that, right? When I'm waiting for that, I always check the phone when they are going to deliver it. Because I have the wedding, I have this thing to do. There's an excuse always coming in behind my mind. But actually, because I am checking the phone because of my vexation. I cannot stay without checking the phone. Right? So what happens? When you receive the parcel, right? When you see the parcel is arrived, right? Now let's say you are in the workplace. You got a message, right? Your parcel is arrived. Since there's no one is there, they took it to the local post office, right? Your work is finishing at 5 o'clock. They are closing at 4:45, right? So next day, you have to go to work by 7:30. They are opening at 9 o'clock. Don't you have this experience? Right? Then you are waiting. One day, you go there. Like a couple of, let's say within 2 days, you go there. When you take that parcel onto your hand, how do you experience? You're elated, right? You feel the pleasure. You feel that experience. Do you remember? So what happened to that? It withers on the vine. The same day, same moment, you experience that after that. Okay, I'm having it, and it's now in the back of the seat in the car, and you go back to the work and you do the day, and then you come back, and when you're opening the box, you always feel that there's something is going on. Do you remember the first day that you bought the phone? First day that you bought a smartphone, for example, how do you feel? What did you do? You protect it, and you protect the cover and all these things. And how about now? Even you don't care it either. You throw it. Those days we had the button phones. The first day I can remember I bought a button phone in my life. I was actually protecting, and I was actually neither. You do everything, but what happens then? After a couple of months, you're throwing to others. Why? When you feel angry, you're actually fighting with the phone. The 3310 Nokia. That was my phone back in those days. You can hit anyone, it doesn't matter. You can collect the SIM phone and the back cover and the battery, and then it works fine. You can throw to others, it doesn't matter. You can relieve your anger, right? By throwing it to the floor. It didn't break, right? It didn't happen to me. I don't know what happened to your phones. So I release my stress and anxiety using the phone, by throwing the phone. So that's why I'm asking, now, where's the happiness? What is the happiness that you're looking for now? Okay, by listening to this talk, do you know that I told you that this stress is manifested because of the ignorance. What is ignorance? Ignorance is that happiness exists out there. You always seek happiness from the outside, but you will never get satisfied with the things in the outside, because the outside things they don't have happiness with them. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking doesn't give you happiness. The happiness that you experience is the relief of the vexation. That is not the happiness. So what is the happiness then? Is there a happiness? Do you want to experience the happiness? Yes. Happiness is there, dear ladies and gentlemen, within your mind. Happiness is there with you. But the thing is, because of the vexation that you experience each and every moment, you cannot be happy because you always feel the pressure. You always want something. You always have a desire. Do you have a desire now or not? You think that you don't have a desire, isn't it? You have a desire to listen now. When you sit in front of me, right? When you seated in front of this room, you have a desire, I should hear something. We all have desire to see, we all have desire to hear, we all have desire to smell, taste, touch, think. Because we think, we have an idea. What is the idea that we have? That gives you happiness. Okay, this is the mechanism. So I'll summarize. I'm going to summarize what actually I've been talking so far. Because of the ignorance that you experience, you have the idea that you have. The ignorance means an idea, isn't it? Right? The lack of understanding about what's actually going on. Because of the ignorance, you always have attachment. Attachment for what? The things that is there in the outside. Some people love the other things. Some people love people love different things. Why? They think that thing gives them happiness. That's why when you go shopping with your partner, right? What happens? That's the disaster. No, that's the disaster. You say, I think I should buy that one. No. It's wasting money. Why? I feel I'm happy with that. Yes, you wish, but I'm not happy with that. Then you have all these arguments. Why? Because of the lack of understanding. Happiness doesn't come from the outside. Right? Then what I'm saying, I'm not saying don't buy anything. Do everything for your needs. Don't do anything. Don't do things for your wants. You cannot satisfy by doing things. This is the understanding that you need to doctrinate it. You need to have. You need to plant in your mind. What is the understand? What is the message? The happiness doesn't there in the outside. Because you have the ignorance, the happiness is there in the outside, then you get the attachment. Because of the attachment, you have the vexation. Vexation in where? All these things are happening in the mind, okay? Right? Vexation in the mind. And because of the vexation, you do the action. And because of the action, what happens? There's a relief. You think that it gives you? You feel the happiness, isn't it? You feel the pleasure. Now what happens? This is the secret. Since you experience that there's a happiness, pleasure from the outside, right? You always update what? The idea that you have. The outside things gives you happiness. The moment that you experience pleasure from eating a KFC or something, right, that you love, the next day you crave more because you confirms what? That gives you pleasure. Now tell me how to come out of this rabbit hole. Each and every time that you iterate this cycle, what happens? You feel it. This is positively reinforcing cycle. This idea, the ignorance or idea that you have, that things gives you happiness, always generates the vexation, and then there's a relief, then you deceive it as a pleasure, and because of that you always confirm that this gives you happiness. That's why people bought iPhone 6, right? Then iPhone 7 came, 8 came, right? What's the iPhone now? 17, 15, 14. You don't know. 15, right? You know the people who are there in the line when they release the new iPhone, right? They always have the iPhone, the previous version. They have the iPhone, let's say you're releasing iPhone 14, right? The person that who will want to buy iPhone 15, right? Who has the iPhone 13. If we get satisfied with iPhone 13, right? Why do you want iPhone 15 now? Dear ladies and gentlemen, this is the tragedy of this life. Because when you see in the life in the close-up, it's a tragedy.
It's a strategy, by the way.
Huh?
You said it right. It's a
Tragedy.
Tragedy for us, strategy for the...
Strategy for the business,
yes.
Companies. Actually, company shapes you. Because since you have this ignorance in your mind, right? That's why. Since you don't have a plan in your life, right? You can easily fall into someone else's plan. Don't you think so? That's why when I ask you what's the purpose of your life, yes, then you can easily fall into someone else's plan. Why? You don't know what's the purpose of your life. You don't know why you born as a human being. Dear ladies and gentlemen, you born as a human being to understand this. To reflect and contemplate, comprehend and verify it within your mind. This is not the same. I'm actually scratching the surface, right? There are more deep concepts that I want to transfer to you. But the thing is, I cannot do everything within one session, right? This is actually scratching on the surface, because you have to go more deeper concept to identify, to reflect, to understand what is actually happening here. The relief. How do you feel this relief? That's why I told you that I explain some experiences that I had and that you might have, because losing the car key, forgetting the car key, right? It happens every day. Some people, right? You don't know where you put the car key. In the morning, you always search everywhere. If you have a smaller house, you'll be lucky. Then if you have a bigger house, then what happens? It will take 20-30 minutes to find out the car key, because Now you have to think about what happened. But where did I go? This room, that room, or the TV room? Where? Right? So that's why I'm saying this is the ignorance of the mind is the root cause of this pressure, vexation, stress that you experience. How to practice this? What you can do, when you experience the pleasure, when you experience the happiness, right? When you do in your life from morning to night, when you experience some pleasurable moments, try to understand how this pleasure builds in your mind. Actually, this gives you the path to come out from the stress and anxiety. Because you're not treating to stress and anxiety. Now you're treating to the ignorance. Do you agree with me? Because when you want to treat to stress and anxiety, right? You won't get a cure for that stress and anxiety, because now you're curing for the stress and anxiety that you have. I mean, you don't have stress and anxiety, dear ladies and gentlemen. This is a manifestation of a process. This is a manifestation because of the causes. What you have to do is remove the causes. Once you remove the causes, once you understand, once you realize actually nothing gives you happiness from the outside, then that helps you, that gives you opportunity, that gives you pathway to relief from the stress and anxiety. Because we all are trapped in this deep rabbit hole. Have you seen the Matrix? This is something like Matrix. I'm giving you the truth. You have to take the red pill or blue pill. It's your duty. That's why what I'm offering to you, what I have with me is this understanding. I don't have anything. One day in Wagga Wagga, the last time I visited Australia, one lady asked me, "Oh, why you are covering with the bed sheet?" She thought that this is a bed sheet, right? And I said, "Oh no, man, this is not a bed sheet. This is a robe. So I'm a Buddhist monk, and so what is the difference? Why you don't wear clothes?" And then I explained what we are doing, and then she asked me, "So you're then," because we had this conversation in the airport. So I explained to her, this is what we are doing. So we are trying to help people because these people are suffering because of the thing. And then she said, "Oh, you're like Morpheus, right? Morpheus in the Matrix." And I said, "Yeah, it's like, but I don't know." So that's why if you can follow this, if you can experience the relief of the vexation, then you slowly, then you understand, okay, this is where I deceive, this is where I like hoodwink actually.
I could put your example of KFC in there.
KFC.
All right.
Yeah.
The car drives automatically towards the west, towards the left. All right. When I'm having KFC, I feel what is causing me this ease of vexation. So absence of vexation giving me happiness.
Ease of vexation, you deceive as happiness. Actually, there's no happiness. This is relief.
Yeah, like absence of air is vacuum. The absence of air is vacuum.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like analogy, I'm just using that one. So how can I train my mind that I don't go to KFC again, I eat bhat and I feel relaxed?
No, the thing is like this. You can go to KFC. It doesn't matter. Don't go to KFC because of the vexation. Because KFC doesn't give you anything because for the vexation. KFC gives you food for your tummy. Right? But the thing is, that's why by realizing one day this truth, you won't be able to stop it instantly. right? This is the way to practice. Because this is the mechanism it develops. So you have to think about again and again and verify within your mind, this is why I felt the pressure.
Yes. I'm just putting it into a bigger canvas now.
Yeah.
Like iPhone 6 will also do work for me. But the way they interpolate and the things and like they say, iPhone 15 has these features and all those stuff. At least iPhone 13, I'll go for that one. But the question is, how do you assess that KFC is my want or is my need? My need is to fulfill the hunger. I can eat dal with that and fulfill my hunger. But why am I going to KFC? Why am I going to another version of iPhone 14 and iPhone 15? So it's not so simple, it's a bit of complexity in there. How do you curtail that urge
Yeah.
and fulfill that need as well?
Yeah. Let's say you're not hungry, right? When you're hungry, while you're driving, right? The easiest way to fulfill your hunger is go through the KFC and eat something. It doesn't matter. I mean, it depends on the situation. You can take the decisions. KFC is not something special. Dal is not something special as well. Dal, what is the difference between chicken and the dal? I mean, now you're opening to the different way that I want to explain to you.
Modalities of fulfillment.
Huh?
Different modalities of fulfillment.
Yeah, it's actually, there's no difference between dal and KFC. Don't you think so? Because all these things are carbohydrate, protein, lipids. The nutrients. Dal is also nutrients. These are nutrients that you want. It doesn't matter. I mean, if you feel the speciality in KFC, that's something that you have. The problem that you have, because you have an idea that KFC is good, or KFC makes you happy, than dal curry. Right? That's actually not, it's not there like that. KFC doesn't have anything happiness rather than a dal curry. KFC has what the chicken has, what chicken eats. Carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, what? The mixture of atoms, right? And what is in the dal curry? Also mixture of atoms. So this gives you energy to survive. Now what you need to do is, now you're realizing the reality, the truth. Actually, you are now trading to the mind. By trading to the mind like that way, right? Slowly and steadily, you don't feel any difference between eating KFC and dal curry. When you have, okay, let's say you have something, you have things to do, okay, you go and buy some KFC or anywhere. It doesn't matter. You don't have, right, this, that, does this gives happiness or that gives happiness? No. Nothing gives you happiness. Everything's are there to fulfill your tummy. Okay, grab something. It doesn't matter. It's your. Yes, madam.
No, sorry, I was going to say, it almost seems like you're saying, and I could be wrong, materialistic things don't manifest true emotions.
Exactly.
Because they don't.
They don't have any emotions.
They don't. So when you talk about the pleasure and the happiness, yes, because we have those things, but are you trying to say that at the end of the day, it is the materialistic things, but we have to train our minds in order to have those true emotions and to be fulfilled and happy, to have long-term happiness, as opposed to short-term, which is from materialistic things.
Yeah, because when you run behind the materialistic thing, seeking happiness, that's the moment you lose the happiness. Because your mind is born to be happy. The eraser doesn't complain. It's there. It doesn't say, can you keep it there? It doesn't say, no, I want to be here. The carbon dioxide molecules that you exhale, they don't complain that you inhale me. Right? I was a part of you. Right? Why you exhale me? It doesn't complain anything. This mic doesn't complain. This mic is perfect. Our mind is meant to be perfect. But because of the void, because of the lack of understanding about its perfectness, it always seeks perfectness from the outside. That's the disease that we all have as a human being. This is the problem that we all have. Not only you, I also have. But I'm now coming out of it. It took me 5 years to practice this path since 2000 it's not 5 years, 7 years, isn't it? No, it's 2023 now. Yes, no, yeah, 5 years actually. 2018, I first listened to this talk, one of the talk from my teacher. And then I realized, I was searching happiness from everywhere, and he says happiness is not there. How come? Then I actually listened to those talks, and slowly, I realized the reality of the perception. What's actually happening within me? What actually happens within me? Because there's nothing, I mean, this is not instant noodles, 2 minute noodles, right? Because you iterate this cycle since you were born. How come is that? Now you're trying to find? No, you cannot find 2 minute answer for this. This is the journey that you enter to this maze. And this is the way to come out of it. When you experience the pleasure, when you feel the pleasure, when you experience the happiness, sense of elation, now you can reflect on yourself and check, is there a vexation beforehand? Then you will find out, this is the secret, this is the problem. Otherwise, when you experience the pleasure, you always update what? Your idea, the mechanism inside the mind. What? The idea, the perspective. Because when you watch YouTube, when you watch Facebook, TikTok, social media, what else? Radio, TV. These days, people watch TV? I don't know. Right? Do they? Only for news, isn't it? Yeah. So they show advertisements, right? How do they act? Remember the exercise machines? In the advertisement, when they do the exercise machine, when they show the exercise machine, they always do the exercise with a smile. Right? You know the Obi Trap or whatever the brand, and then this is good machine. See, this bodybuilder, right? He has all the 6 packs and everything, right? And he's happy and he's smiling while doing the exercise. And how about, and you think, yes, I can be smile at the same time have this kind of 6-pack body, right? So what happens? Without a shadow of doubt, right? You take the decision, yes, I should have one. And there's a phone number appearing as seen on TV, and you call them, and then don't worry, they deliver to you, right? You don't have to go anywhere. You just call and give them the credit card details, and that's it, right? And they deliver to you. Once you get onto the machine, and once you start doing exercise, not that happy actually, isn't it? Huh?
Yeah.
This is the drama that everyone is indoctrinating to you in your mind. They drilled this idea, what? Happiness, okay, comes with this. Happiness comes with that. Happiness comes with it. People are doing things for, AI, artificial intelligence. They do everything for, to make your life easy, right? More efficient. So, you save some time because of the artificial intelligence. Because of the phone, you save some time, right? What did you do with that saved time?
Wasted it somewhere else.
You did something else that, what? Now, because you wanted something, what? You want something to be happy, isn't it? You spend some time on experiencing other things, right? Now, because of that, you enter another cycles. That's why people love chocolate biscuits, and then love chocolate, and then they develop chocolate biscuits, right? And then biscuit on the chocolate on top of the biscuit, right? And chocolate on top of the biscuit, and there are some nuts as well. Okay. So what you can do now? VR, virtual reality, and AR, augmented reality. Now they have what you call Meta Quest 3 or something. I'm not advertising these things, huh? Right? Because we are watching what's going on in the world, because we know, the way that they go now. Because now you have the VR headset, and it's like mixed reality. You can play games, right? By looking at the outside as well. This is not going to be a nice world, because everyone is suffering because of the ignorance. But the science and technology always create some avenue to be more ignorant. They don't give you solutions. That's why without a phone, without a laptop, without anything, we are so happy. Back in my monastery that I lived, there are 600 people. They don't have this stress and anxiety. There are little kids, 18 minors. There's an Anagarika program that we call Anagarika program. And they go to school, and we have a school, separate school, and everything is there. We are giving the education as well. At the same time, they don't have a phone and they don't have a laptop. They are so happy. Because your parents, your great-grandparents, they didn't have laptops or phone. They had a peaceful life back in days compared to what you have now, even though you're so busy. Don't you think so? Don't you want to experience that happiness? By staying in this world. It doesn't matter. I'm also staying in this world, right? I'm using the cameras and equipment because we are recording things and we do this, but we don't own anything. This thing is not for own. This is to use. But what you're doing is abusing, not using. Use and abuse. This is very nice words. Use and abuse. Only AB is there. Since you know A, B, C, D, E, you abuse it. The pen is there to use, not to own. The car is there to use, not to own. People ask you to buy it and use it. Separate it from the world. You experience that these things are mine. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you, when you go out of this world, are you taking any tuppence worth of thing that you have? No. You came empty, you go empty. You don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know what's going to happen to you next. You are just traveling through the journey of the life, wasting your valuable human life without understanding the reality. Isn't it? Don't you think that, your life is more valuable than this, what you think? That's why the song says, Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. Why? You don't know what's going to happen next. Right? But you know one thing, you live this moment. So realize the reality at this moment. That will give you eternal happiness that you had. You are not born to suffer, my friends. You are born to be happy. But not doing something, but realizing. Because realization is the key source of happiness. Realization is the the way to surface up the happiness that you had within your mind. Realizing the reality about realizing the reality from your real eyes about the real lies that indoctrinated into your mind. You have this ability. Let's start this. Because the things that you are doing in your life doesn't give you satisfaction. Only realization of the truth gives you the satisfaction. That's why I'm so glad to my teachers, because they guide me, they showed me the path. They guided me and they showed me the path, and still they are guiding me. Do you have a teacher? Do you have a role model? You should have. Okay, much merits. I think this is the way. Now you understand how you felt the happiness, right? The stress and anxiety develops because of you expect something to happen within your mind. That expectation arose because of what? The ignorance that you have. Always think about yourself. Not think about you means like don't point your finger toward the others. Always point your finger towards yourself and question and reflect and analyze your mind rather than analyzing the problem in the outside. That's the way to overcome it. Yes, sir.
I'm just thinking on the question which we started at, the workload and the stress. Boss is not going to reduce the workload.
Yes.
So how do I adjust this and get myself calm? Because
Yes.
happiness is getting eased on the workload. How do I address this?
This is also, I mean, when you think the workload at collectively, it's a one. Then you always feel that you're going to do everything by myself and these whole things, right? But if you're looking into it separately, this part, and this section, now you're analyzing what you have to do. You're analyzing the workload. You're fragmentization of the workload. Like you're fragmenting what's this part and this, and then the next and this next. And when you think about it separately, the process, right? Not as a collectively one thing. When you look into it separately as a process, then you won't feel the stress. No one can eat an elephant at one, as a one unit, right? But if you eat an elephant slowly, by piece, then you can finish an elephant. Like asterisks and obliques. I don't know whether you have seen this cartoon. Yeah.
But it's also the choices we make. You know, it's up to us to make a change. Change won't come to us.
Pardon?
Change won't come to us.
Yeah.
You have to want to change.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to learn, as hard as it is, to eliminate some of the things that may cause you stress. Like, you know, if you did have a job which, you know, you made $100,000 a year.
Exactly.
If you have to make, you know, say in half, which will be hard.
Yes.
It's going to give you that true happiness.
Exactly.
Within the mind.
Yeah.
Then you have to make some drastic changes.
Yes. So it depends on your understanding of the Dhamma, understanding of the reality. It's totally depend on that, your understanding. The more you understand, you can actually change it, right? If you don't understand this, you always seek what? You need more. That's why, let's say, you can actually live with 50,000, let's say, right? I don't know. Yeah, rough, right? Then, okay, why are you trying to do 100,000 job? No, but the thing is, you always feel, oh, the other one, that guy, he's also the same qualification like me, And he's doing 100,000, and when he says, you 50,000, I'm 100,000, you always feel, you don't want to be like that, because you have an idea what I am, always should be at the top. You have this ego. That's why I told you, I'm now taking some other aspects that I want to explain to you, but I just didn't explain everything within this 2 hours, because this rabbit hole goes more deeper than this, what you think. The ego, we haven't talked about ego. We haven't talked about these materials, how you perceive this pen, right? There's a whole lot of things that I have to transfer. I want to transfer, but I cannot do it like 2 hours, especially because in Sinhala we have listened to these things like in our own language, mother language. We have listened to these things like more frequently. But there are few people who are able to speak in English and explain these things. That's my duty. That's why I wanted to explain this slowly, and this is the first step. This is not the end. Like more understand this reality, you will experience the happiness that comes within. How do I say? Who experienced that? Now, me. I'm not giving something. What is that? I'm not giving something that I didn't experience. Right? I'm experiencing right now the degree of that unconditional happiness. I want you to taste it. I want you to taste it. That's why in the Matrix it says. Then after that, lady explained to me that you are like a Morpheus. Then I watched that part of the red pill and blue pill in the Matrix, and it says, you're born to a prison. You're born to a bondage. You're born to a prison that you cannot smell, taste, and smell, taste, touch. I have the truth. Remember, I am only offering the truth. So you can take the red pill or blue pill. This is not a concept. This is actually practical. You can experience this. The pleasure that you experience is actually not the pleasure. The happiness comes within. Happiness should come within. It's there. You have this happiness at this moment, but you don't experience it because you always seek things from the outside. To be happy, to be content. You don't know how much of ocean of love and compassion I have in my heart towards you. Because every human being should know this theory. Every human being. Buddha is not for the Buddhist. Buddha is for everyone. That doesn't mean that everyone should become Buddhist. Buddha didn't preach for the Buddhist. Buddha explained things for the people who live there. Jesus didn't explain things for the Christians. Isn't it? That's why in Taoism it says, when you realize this truth, Taoism, there's a religion, the religion in Taoism, Japan and China, Taoism, Tao, the yin yang, the black color, white color. And it says, every separate being in this living world is returning to a common source. Once you realize this common source, once you realize the eternal truth, once you realize where you come from, once you realize what is the purpose of your life, then you will be tolerant, kind-hearted as a grandmother, dignified as a king. You can deal with whatever life brings to you. And when the death comes, you are ready. Actually, this is the life that we should spend, because day by day, you're coming closer to the death. Right? I have experiences in aged care centers. When I was in Canberra, I volunteered there. In front of my eyes, I witnessed a former parliamentarian, the minister, one of the minister, has died in front of my eyes. And he was yelling, he was screaming because he wanted to see his son. My God. He saw his son entire his life, but he still wants to see the son. No one has last will. Do you think everyone has last will? If they live a little bit more, then they need no. Okay, one more. That's why we always go, because of our desires, because of we are going against the God always punishes you. Stress and anxiety is a punishment that God gives you because of you are going against the God. What is this God? Who is this God? God is the environment. God is the nature. God is everywhere. That's why in Bible it says God is without the eyes, like God doesn't have sensations. God is something eternal. That's why once you realize this truth, you can actually embrace with the God. Right? You can actually go to the heaven. That's why it says, the blessed are the pure in heart, who shall see the God, who shall meet the God in the heaven. Because once you get pure in your heart, once you don't have the urges, once you don't have the suffering, once you don't have the mental pressure, by realizing the eternal truth, then you experience the happiness. That's the moment you can experience the rest in peace in the heaven. Don't you think so? This is the philosophy. This is the philosophy of life.